For kids!
Hi everybody, welcome back to Try Kids TV. I'm your host Rachel, and today we're excited to have author and editor Eric Sammons with us today to talk about a new publication from Sophia Press called Benedictus. Welcome,
Eric. Hey, thanks for having me, Rachel. This is great.
I'm the Trad Kids TV mom here to help out today, and this is Samuel. We're super excited to have Eric here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, yeah. It's great to be here. This is exciting.
We got our sample copy here.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
We got to take this for a test drive on a Terre Sunday. So do you want to start by telling us a little bit about this new publication?
Sure. So Benedictus, it's basically like a little hand missal for the traditional Latin Mass. A lot of people who've been going to Mass for a long time in the ordinary form, the Novus Order, or whatever you want to call it, there's a booklet called the Magnificat. And lots of people know about it. It's the exact same size as it's just about. And it's just a little hand missal that you get once a month, and it helps you go through the Mass of the ordinary form. Well, there's never been one really that for the traditional Latin Mass. And so, but it really is needed, I think. And so that's what this does, because what happens is, I mean, as we all know who go to the traditional Latin Mass, there's a lot to it. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and it's something that you learn over a long period of time, and that's good. But sometimes it's nice to kind of know where you are in the Mass, what's going on, what's the priest doing, what are we supposed to be doing. And in the big missals that most, adults have at least, lots of flipping. I mean, Lots of new people are going to traditional Latin Mass now, and that's the number one question I always get from people is, how do what missal should I get? But then how in the world do I use this missal? Because there's all this flipping around. Where do I go? Well, Benedictus. And then you're trying to do it while you're holding Samuel. Like, Good luck with that. You have some mom.
The toddler. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you have your veil on, and somebody's grabbing the veil down, and another kid's like starting to get a little rambunctious. And you're supposed to be flipping through your missal. It can be a challenge. And so Benedictus really helps that, because essentially what happens is there's no flipping. That's the most important point. You just go through. You just go through. Like, for example, this was the fourth Sunday of Lent. And then you just go through page by page, and it tells you what the priest is. It has the what the priest is saying in Latin on one side. And then it also has a column for the English, so you can understand if you don't know Latin yet, but I'm sure you all will learn it soon. And then it also has little things like what the priest is doing, like in the gray, like what he's doing, maybe what you should be doing, which is great because it just helps you really. I think even people who go to a Latin Mass for a long time, sometimes you kind of forget some of the things because you don't really think about it. And then this reminds you, oh, hey, this is what's going on right now. Like, for example, this right here, it says, the priest intercedes for the church suffering and the church militant. I mean, that's what the next prayer is all about. So it really is a helpful way to enter into what's going on at Mass, understand what the priest is praying for, what's happening at the Holy Sacrifice of the Mass.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like every time we go, we've kind of new to the traditional form, maybe about a year and a half now, and it feels like every time we go, we pick up a little something new every time. Like, So I think, the advice for people going the first time maybe is not to try to figure it all out, right?
Absolutely.
And just know that it's,
if you're going for, definitely. I always tell people the first few times you go, don't try to follow along really, just experience it. And what will happen is over time you'll start picking up what's going on even without a missal. And then, because I always say, don't even use a missal for the first few times. Just, pray, pay attention, and then start using a missal. But this is a great way then to get started. I think even old timers could use this to benefit, but especially for newcomers, people who may not have been going for very long. This is a great way to get started. Because the other reason why it's great is because every day it has meditations, daily meditations that help you might be about the saint of the day or what we're celebrating on that Sunday. And that really helps too, because it helps you really understand. Like, what you could do is the night before you could read it. Like, I know what I've always done for years is Saturday night, I get together with all the kids and my wife, and we do the readings for the Sunday Mass. We started doing this when we were going to the ordinary form 15, 20 years ago, and now we just transitioned. Then we started going to the traditional Latin Mass. And we do the readings, and we talk about what the readings are. That way, the next day, they kind of know what the readings are and what the priest might. And the priest may or may not mention them in his homily, but that way they kind of have an idea of what we're celebrating that day.
So you have how many kids, Eric?
I have 7 kids.
7. And what are their age ranges?
My oldest is 24. I have 6 daughters and 1 son.
Oh, wow.
And the son is right in the middle. He has 3 older sisters and 3 little sisters. So
Sister sandwich.
He is blessed among women. But my oldest is 24, and she's out of college and working now. And then I have 2 who are at Franciscan University of Steubenville, and they're 22 and 20, I think. Yes. And then my son is 17 in high school. And then I have 3 younger daughters. My one daughter is 11, almost 12, about the same age as you, Rachel. And then I have a 9-year-old, and then I have a 5-year-old who's about to turn 6. So,
awesome.
Yeah, so it's
a
range 24 to 5.
24, big range there.
Yes.
We've got 6, and our ranges go from 4 months old to 12, almost 13 here. So.
Oh, wow. You're the oldest, Rachel. You're the boss.
She is.
Very
my
good.
mother's helper. So it's definitely could be a challenge, right? Bringing kids to Mass, but I love that.
And that brings up something I know. I've had people tell me who have a number of kids who go to the ordinary form of the Mass, and they want to go to a traditional Latin Mass. They're actually nervous to bring their big family because they've heard how reverent it is and how a lot of silence, and they're like, my kids are crazy. I can't bring them. And I understand. I said, oh, trust me, you will not be the only one with the kids screaming. Just, take them out, wherever they have a little area, maybe right outside the doors or something like that somewhere. There's always a place you can go.
Yes.
Settle them down, then bring them back in. Nobody's going to think anything about a kid who starts crying at a traditional Latin Mass because he's joining a chorus.
Yeah,
And you just take care of them, and we understand, because it's a good sign. So if there's anybody out there who has young kids and is kind of nervous about going to a traditional Latin Mass with them, don't be. We all have dealt with it.
One of the things I think surprised me the most the first time we did attempt to bring them all was how well it actually went. Like, the kids just sort of naturally picked up, I think, on the atmosphere and the reverence of the Mass. And,
Yes.
We weren't trying to compete with noise or anything. And I think, he was probably 3 years old at the time, and I had another infant at the time. And we left there like, well, I guess this is where God wants us to be, because
Right.
the whole thing was so smooth from the, it's about an hour drive for us.
Oh, wow.
And they were quiet in the car on the way there.
Yes.
Definitely felt like God was intervening. And the whole Mass, they were pretty quiet, and the whole car ride home. So like, okay, I guess this is it.
I do think there's a certain sense that even kids pick up on. I mean, obviously little kids are going to make their noises and whatnot, but there is a sense, at least with our family, what we've done ever since the littlest was small. Our oldest was a small toddler. Is we always just make sure, we give them some, like, if once they get old, they have a book to look at, but it's always like some book about the Mass or about the Bible or a saint or something like that. And that's it. Like, we don't want to distract them from the Mass. We want to get the point that the important stuff is going on up there.
Yeah.
And we're not going to entertain you here in the pew. And if they get a little bit out of control, we just bring them back. I'm going to tell a funny story on myself, because one time, one of my kids, I won't say which one, she's older, I'll just say that now. But she was getting rambunctious in the pews. We always sit near the front because I feel like they can pay attention better. And so we pick her up. I pick her up. I go to take her back. and it's a kind of quiet part of it, and she yells at the top of her lungs, "Don't spank me, Dad! Don't spank me!" And it was the most embarrassing moment. It was like, oh my gosh, because like the entire congregation, everybody hears it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. So anyway, so it happened. The point is, this happens to all of us. There's no.
It literally just happened.
Yes.
He was our 4-year-old was knocking on the pews, and my husband's like, if you knock on the pews one more time, I'm gonna take you. They have a basement. It's like the crying room, and so he takes him. Are you gonna spank me in the basement, Daddy?
Yeah, I know. It just. What are you gonna do?
Graces for that, right?
Yes, exactly. It's all good though. But I do think they pick up pretty quickly the reverence that's kind of shown, and even if let's be honest, every once in a while you might get somebody who kind of gives you a look, and maybe an older person, and that's fine. You just most people understand, and the priest always understands, and it's all good. And like I know, like with my son, we switched over from going to the ordinary form to the traditional Latin Mass when he was about 8, like right around serving time. He had no interest in altar serving until he went to traditional Latin Mass. He saw all those boys up there with their military precision. He's like, okay, that looks pretty cool. Yeah. And so he started. He's an MC now. So so it's I do think they pick up on all those things.
That's great. What we found with the Benedictus, what I really liked was we have our 3 older ones at least. We have Rachel here that's 12, and then twin boys that are 10. They're pretty competitive, and so I like the daily meditations where you can kind of do a quiz after church, and it's like who remembered the most, who heard what Father said.
Very good.
I thought that was great. That it kind of gives you some questions related to the readings, and then some answers, and kind of guide that family discussion and have a little friendly competition on Sunday.
Yeah, I know a lot of people do that on the drive home. They'll ask the kids, like, what did Father say that you remembered or you thought was cool or whatever, and it makes sure they kind of pay attention during the homily. So
yeah, that's good. You did mention the Magnificat and the they have that kid companion. Do you think you see anything like that coming out in the future?
I hope so. I think really what the plan is, there actually have been a couple times it's been attempted to do this, and it's failed for 2 reasons. I think the people who tried to start them were good intention, but they didn't necessarily have the funds, the money to make it happen. It takes some startup money to print all these out before you get paid or anything like that. And then secondly, I honestly think that perhaps there wasn't a big enough market for it yet, that I think is not true anymore, because I think so many people now are going to traditional Latin Mass that I do think there's a market. And so I think the reason I'm saying that is because this has to be successful in America for then it to branch out. For example, a number of people have asked, can we get this in Canada, or can we get this in the United Kingdom and Australia, or even in different languages in Europe? And the answer is no. But hopefully, if this is successful, then we can branch out and go to other places. And the same thing with the kids edition. I think that's a wonderful idea. And I think it's just a matter of this one. And I will say it has done exceeded expectations how many people signed up for it already. It's not even coming out until August. Yeah. Yet a lot of people have already signed up with their subscriptions. I mean, it's cheap. It's like $5 a month. I mean, it's really not that expensive. And the monthly one's going to be the monthly one's going to be way bigger than this. This is only 1 week. Yes, I do hope there will be a kids edition at some point. But right now it's a matter of getting enough subscriptions to continue to make this successful. And I really do think it's going to be, because like I said, the initial response has been tremendous. I mean, before it was even marketed very much, already people were signing up for it and everything. So, but like I said, so that's just for waiting until August. So I think once people get in their hands, and especially when you're in the pew and you see the guy next to you have one, and you're like, wow, that looks cool. Then all of a sudden, you get more people using it too.
It was really cool, because this was just a sample, and we saw the people right in front of us, and our pew in front of us had the same sample. So it was like, oh wow, it's already spreading, and it seems like there's a lot of excitement.
Yes,
we're very excited. So you said it's $5 a month. That's super cheap.
Yes.
Is it all going to be in 1 month book, or is there separate weekly books? What's that going to be?
No, it's going to be every month you'll get a book. That'll be, like I said, thicker than this, but you'll get one each month. And and then you'll get, and it'll come, like the August one will come obviously in like around the middle of July. So you'll have plenty of time, make sure it gets to you on time. And so you'll be able to start off, and then you'll just get one in the middle of August for September and just keep on like that.
Oh, that's great, because this is already pretty thick for really about 1.5 weeks worth, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it definitely is. I want to say, I think I heard somebody say that like it's going to be about 400 pages or something like that. Wow. I mean, each month. I that could be wrong, but I mean, this one is 1 week and it's 100 pages, so that would make sense. 4 weeks, so it's going to be but it's still going to be a handheld. It's going to be, and it's, again, no flipping necessary. So it still should be able to fit in a purse or something, or just be able to carry it pretty easily. So, and also it's in good, it's a decent quality. Like if all of a sudden like a kid grabs it or something like that, it's not going to like tear apart quickly or anything like that. It's a sturdy, well done one. So let's try to rip it apart.
That's a challenge the kids may take.
After so.
But it seems like an awesome deal for $5. It's going to be quite a nice publication. You can pre-order now.
Yes.
Expect it to hit the mailbox in July before August. Awesome. And our viewers that are across the pond here in the United Kingdom and Australia will just have to wait a little bit, and
hopefully it won't be too much longer, but just because of just expenses and all that of mailing it and stuff, we'll have to figure that out at some point.
Awesome.
Rachel, did you use it last week at all?
I used it last week, yes.
Oh, very good. Okay, did you like it?
Yes.
Good. What'd you like about it? Did you like the meditations and not flipping, or what?
It's definitely easier to follow along than the big.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to use the big missile, Rachel?
I think like my dad would like pass it to me like if I did not know what's going on, and I'll be like, where am I?
It's pretty intimidating.
It is.
For young readers, I think. So this is nice. I think I also like that just the basic prayers are in there, the whole Ave Maria, the English version, and the Latin side by side. Daddy was actually trying to take our copies, but we only had one copy. He wanted to put his flipping thing down. He's also trying to manage a toddler.
Yeah, right, exactly. So
I think
good. Well, you're gonna have to get one for everybody then.
I do think we're gonna have. Is there like a family discount?
There should be. I don't know about that, but maybe there should be. So
don't be oppressed about that.
Yes, exactly. I will.
I know there is volume pricing, right?
It probably is. Yeah, I know parishes can get something like that. So.
Yeah, I do remember that when we were going to the Novus Ordo, that we would get for the Magnificat, we would pick ours up from the parish office.
Right.
And so maybe we'll talk to our parish to see about getting, because we've got at least 3 readers among the kids, and then mom and dad. So.
Awesome. Very good.
And even the one that can't read likes to pretend to read.
Yes. Oh, I have my 5-year-old's like that too. She's just learning to read, but boy, she has this prayer book, and she goes through it, and like my daughter, who's your age, Rachel, she's like telling her where to be and stuff like that, and she's like very intent because she sees mom and dad do it, she sees her older sisters and siblings do it, so she's like, I'm gonna do this, but she can't read yet.
But I think that's great that you're setting the example, and you can see the younger ones pick that up.
Right.
Awesome. All right. Is there anything else that we?
Yeah, no, I just think you can the website is prebenedictus.com. I know I don't know if this is still going on, but at one point, if you subscribed, you got a free copy of a book, The Holy Bread of Eternal Life.
Yes, let's see it. We got this here.
And that's for a limited time, and I honestly don't know if that limited time is over or not. So you'd have to go to the website and see if that's still available, but I would rush there and see. Like I said, it's only $5 a month, so it's a very reasonable cost.
Absolutely, yeah. I think really excited to see this come in to our mailboxes.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really fun.
Yes, thanks so much for having me. This is great.
We're looking forward to it. Say bye, Samuel.
See you, Samuel.
Bye. Thanks,
you guys.
for
See you, Rachel.
And Dea gratias.
How old are they? 20? Oh, they're going to kill me if they see this. They're going to my wife's going to kill me too.
Yeah. We got a visitor here.
Hey, we got a new one. I like the outfit.
You never know what you're gonna get in this house here, right?
Yeah, we got a little monster coming in. Hey, he's a smiling monster though, so.
He's our entertainment for sure. This is Joseph.
Hey, Joseph.
Hi, Eric.
Very good.
We definitely
I guess that monster doesn't bite or anything. So
He's a pretty friendly monster.
that's
He's what we're talking about in church, knocking on the pew. That's our.
always one, exactly. So.
Our pew knocking.
Follow like a little, what do you call a book?
Just a missile.
Missile.
Like,
there we go.
my husband's got the big leather bound.
Yes.